I get energy from the students. It's like my power source. I get the laughter, the aha moments, the connections with the students, and that they are learning, and I'm helping them learn. I am Zack Gilbert. Teach on. Did I ever consider leaving the profession of teaching? Yes, and I did. I did leave it. My schedule was very repetitive. I was teaching the same thing over and over again. I was in a middle school, but yet it was still a junior high. I'd go through the day and I'd mention a topic, or say this. Did I mention this earlier in the day? And the kids were like, "What are you talking about?" It got very confusing, and that repetition became very boring. And boring is not teaching. And I was like, I need to do something. So being in the town that I'm in Bloomington Normal, Illinois. That State Farm is the headquarters in Bloomington, Illinois, and family were constantly saying, well, you should try State Farm. Let's go to State Farm. I tried it. I actually got into a department that was um, it was rare to get into when you first start at a State Farm. You usually go into insurance. I got into the learning and development, education development within the company, and I was teaching computer classes.
Hmm.
I enjoyed it to a certain extent, but I missed the regimented day, the of a school day. It kept me organized. I had a lot too much, actually I had too much freedom, and in that regards. And I found out that teaching adults overall is far more difficult than teaching kids, especially in junior high. Junior high is such a difficult time. I don't know about any of you. They were the worst years of my life, junior high school, and I made it my mission to say that I want my students to laugh. I want them to enjoy learning, and every hour, every class I teach, I want that to happen. I need to see it. I need to see learning happen, but I want to see laughter. I want them to enjoy themselves, and that's a huge part of what I do. It's that enjoyment of being in the classroom. You can't teach a kid if they're not enjoying what's going on. And if I'm enjoying, like I mentioned before, I'm getting energy from them. If I'm not enjoying myself, the students know that too. I use the BBC History interactive games, and the two games I use is Mummy Maker and Pyramid Challenge. And the students actually get mad at me because they struggle so much. The Mummy Maker is a challenging game. It might take them two or three times to actually create a mummy. So it's step by step of the process of how to create a mummy. And I will not help them. I'll tell them, read the instructions, use any clues you have. That is all I'm telling you. So they get through that one. And then I tell them, well, now you need to go off and let's do the pyramid challenge, which is how to make a pyramid. And I tell them, now, if you thought the first one was hard, you're going to be in for a surprise because this one's far more difficult. And then they're like, why are you doing this to us, Mr. Gilbert? Why are you making us, struggle? And they don't realize it until later that that their struggle is what actually helped them to learn. And so when I feel bad, but when they struggle and they get really mad and I just start laughing and they're like, why are you laughing at our misery? And they go, because you're learning and you don't even know that you're learning. And that's the cool part of that experiential learning through a game is that there is a struggle there. And I do help them, but it's I want them to struggle as much as they can. Actually, I have a lot of book smart kids that struggle more than my non-book smart kids, and it's an interesting dynamic. It's usually me finding a new game I like that self discovery that I see a game that's out there and go, man, I could use that in the classroom. I'll even have the kids help me out. I love having the kids be participants in my learning of how what I do in the classroom. I open myself up to the kids. Hey, I'm thinking about using this game. It'd be like taking the X-wing miniatures in, saying, I'm thinking about let's play the game. Okay, do you see ways of using this in the classroom? And giving them that self-worth that, hey, Mr. Gilbert's asking me, what I think about using this. And and then they start thinking on a different level. It's not, well, it's fun. Now they start thinking and categorizing it into math, science, social studies, major areas. And that's a fun experience because they'll see things I'll never think of. So what are a couple things you can do if you're feeling down about your job? The first thing I think is that you need to simplify it, because usually when you're a teacher that is looking at getting out, things are too complicated. You need to simplify it, keep it simple. And you need to look at, I mean, hopefully you have somebody administration wise that you can talk to. You have a mentor that you can come to. If that person's me, I'm probably telling you, look at different avenues. You're a good teacher. You help students. You interact and help others. Um, there are other places within education. It could be a different building. It could be a different team. But when I see that you can create a positive impact on your kids in the classroom, in and out of the classroom, you have a gift. You need to use it, but you have to find the right place for it. I feel very lucky. I've taught on many different teams. I've taught with great teams. I'm on the best team that I've ever been on right now. And I feel very lucky and privileged. And it makes it easier because we help each other out. It's finding a group of educators that have a common goal and working with them. I think if you feel like you're leaving it, you don't have somebody that you can collaborate with and talk to and help you work through those problems, because I have good days and bad days too, and it's a struggle. But the one thing I do know is that I have a new day or a new class period coming up, and I have new lessons that I want to try. I'm always changing my lessons to make it exciting for me to try out new ways. So I am Zack Gilbert. Teach on.